Here we go, brother.
We're here at Creep Recording Studios in Hostel City, USA. It's the Rock and Wrestling Connection Podcast.
Hey now, brother.
We're going to talk about rock. We're going to talk about wrestling. We're going to talk rock and wrestling.
We're on the air.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rock and Wrestling Connection.
All right, Rocco, Jay, and the Officer Dan is back. We have a good one today, guys. She wrestled all around the world, plethora of championships, millions and millions of hits on YouTube, Annie Social. Thank you for coming in tonight.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So, did you grow up a wrestling fan? How did you get into wrestling?
Like, kind of on accident. I don't even watch wrestling. I'm really not a fan at all.
What? Wow, even today still.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay. It's pretty kind of funny. You've had such a great career that's gone a while, and you've wrestled some of the biggest names in wrestling now. How did you get in?
Well, I used to be a dancer, and I was working at Delilah's, and the promoter for WEW was in there, and one of the girls was like one of his oil wrestlers.
Okay. And
he asked me if I wanted to do that. So I was like 19, and I didn't give a shit. So I was like, sure, why not? So I did that, and then I met Phil May. Do you know who he is? No. He's a wrestler. He worked for Women's Extreme Wrestling. He was friends with Trent Acid, Johnny Cashmere, and all those guys when they opened the Animal House. So I started training with them and just kind of went from there.
So you didn't watch wrestling. You were just...
like here and there.
Yeah, you knew that there was 4 sides. They had the ropes and stuff. What was it like? Was it tough training? We just talked to Dan in our previous episode where they really trained him, and like he was throwing up at the end of some of his sessions.
I mean, it was rough, but I mean, everybody, it was weird. Like everybody kind of had a different style on like how we were going to train and stuff like that. I would say Johnny Cashmere was probably the hardest on me. Like he was kind of like my Pai Mei. Like he used to just like beat the shit out of me just to see if I would quit or not. So, but yeah, I mean, he never physically hurt me, but like he would run me more than anybody else. Like I came out of there with purple forearms and like an entire black and blue arm, just crazy. And then you had Gary Wolf training too, and he was doing mostly like the calisthenic type stuff. Like he would have us run up and down the bleachers and like do all the weightlifting and stuff like that. And then Trent would just show up and be like, what are you guys doing? Fuck that, get the crash pad. And we would just, like I learned how to do like a top rope rana before I could even lock up with anybody. It was just really all over the place. But I mean, it came together eventually.
Did you start like watching wrestling when you were training? Did you become fans of any of this? Was it like bigger than life for any of you?
Well, I mean, I started watching a lot of Japan stuff, and anybody I was training with or working with on shows, I was watching their stuff. But I was never really like a WWE fan or like anything like that. No, I was more like, I like to watch boxing. I used to watch out with my dad. Cool. You know, I was more into like that kind of stuff.
You should listen to my brother's podcast. He does a boxing podcast.
Nice.
It's probably better than this. So then tell us about your first few matches. Nervous?
Oh my God, yeah. I was not ready, like at all. I would say the first match I had for Pro Wrestling Unplugged was at Kavanaugh's. They did that one show, and it was awesome too. Because like if you watch the tape of it, you see the whole like skyline and everything. Like it was like cinematically awesome looking. But man, I got my ass beat. Oh my God, I was not ready for that. I was. It was me and Sumi Sakai against Amy Lee McNuckles.
Wow.
And they threw me in there, and boy, did they throw me in there. Like I was not ready for that. Like not even in the slightest. Her music hit. I was terrified. I saw Amy and Mickey coming at me. I was like, oh God, what? Oh God. So, but I mean, I survived. So it's what it is. How
long did it take before you start easing into it a little bit, even just feeling a little more comfortable?
Probably a couple years. Like it was hard. I mean, it's the most unnatural thing you can do in your life is fall down backwards on purpose. Like, why would you ever do that? But
yeah, it definitely takes a couple of years.
Yeah.
So you wrestled around the Philly scene a little bit when you started with like April Hunter or Angel Orsini. You got some stories about them?
April's awesome. Angel's awesome too. Actually, I haven't seen either of them in years. April, I traveled up to Canada with her to work for the naked wrestling thing, which everybody shits on, and I don't care because they paid me a lot of money. Whatever. It is what it is.
Just
That's
two
the
guys.
entire point.
Yeah, they were just saying to
that's
me.
what we were saying
Entire
before.
point.
Yeah, getting paid and
It was so, oh my God, it was stupid money. Like the guy, he was like this like random like millionaire dude from Canada, and he just like wanted to make his own wrestling show. And he actually had a part in making that, you ever seen Naked News? That show that's
I
on
think
Canada?
so. I just watched it for the news.
Yeah, I'm sure. See where what the clouds are doing and all that. But yeah, he started that, and he was like, "Oh, I want to make like this naked wrestling show," and he hired me and April Hunter, and then it was a bunch of just like fitness models.
And like Carmen Electra's hosting it.
She was, but I mean, like it was more like they just used her name to whatever. Like she only was there for the live event. That was it. And I think she did some post-production stuff. She was really cool. She's actually a really nice lady.
So also early in your career, you started wrestling for ACPW, American Championship Wrestling. Little shout out to Chris and Ty. I currently call the matches for ACPW.
Nice.
What was it like working with those guys?
I mean, they're fun. They're awesome dudes. Kwame, Charles, and all those guys. Like there were smaller shows, but I like the smaller shows because it's more like, I don't know, personal, I guess.
immediate connect. You get a nice connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had good fans. Those shows.
Also early in your career, you wrestled with Sarah Del Rey, who like is considered one of the better women's wrestlers. What was it like being in the ring with her? Could you have to step up the game a little bit for a girl like her?
Everybody has to step up the game for Sarah Del Rey. I mean, she was ungodly good. It was ridiculous. And it's still like to this day like shocks me that they didn't use her on TV or anything like that. But I mean, she's doing well for herself. It's awesome.
Yeah, she wound up being the head trainer for the WWE.
I thought there was a period of time where I thought she was easily one of the top 3 wrestlers in the United States, man or woman.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like seeing her was incredible, and seeing her in these tiny little shows blew my mind. And there was no doubt. I was very excited when she got signed, and I thought she would be on TV all the time. And I was disappointed when she.
Yeah, I thought she would be power bombing dudes. Like I'm like, what is going on here? Why is she not on TV right now?
I mean, good for her, you know. Like
absolutely.
But I was very disappointed that I didn't get to see more of that. She's amazing wrestler. Great mind, for it.
I mean, you do see her come through though in some of her girls. Like, you see a lot of Del Rey in some of these girls that she's bringing up.
You when you wrestled her, you were defending a championship, and I think you were also a tag team championship. You had 2 belts at the time, so Annie 2 belts was before Becky 2 belts, huh?
Yeah.
So you've traveled around the world. What's it like wrestling in Mexico compared to America? What's it like wrestling in Japan compared to America? How did you get out there? What was that all about?
Well, Mexico was nuts. Like they just like you couldn't walk more than like 5 inches away from wherever you were without getting mobbed by people trying to take selfies and stuff. And it's weird because I'm like, dude, I'm just like some broad from Philly. I don't know what's going on here. I'm like, I don't know why you want selfies with me, but cool.
That's what we say about Jay. He's just some broad from Philly.
Yeah.
That was Mexico was wild. The food was great. It's funny because when I went to Mexico, I was there with Sarah and Generico, and we spent like 4 hours in this coffee shop. I don't know who we were waiting for. We were playing Django for like 4 hours. And that was like the one specific thing that I remember about Mexico is playing Django with Sarah Del Rey and Generico. Japan was nuts. I lived at the dojo for about 2 months.
Oh, wow. You were out there for a while.
Yeah. We trained 6 hours a day, 6 days a week. And by the time I came home, I was like dragging my leg behind me in the airport. Some dude asked me if I needed a wheelchair because it was just like it was old school Japan training. Like we literally would bump for like 2 hours.
So what's it like? You're telling your family, "Oh, I'm going to go to Japan for a few months and train, my craft that you were doing at the time." That's a huge decision.
Yeah. I mean, they just thought I was weird. I did a ton of weird shit in my life. They were just, here she goes again.
Super weird.
Here she goes again, doing something else.
Do you feel like that really stepped up your game a lot after that?
I mean, definitely, because they're they're amazing. Like the worst wrestler in Japan is better than the best wrestler here. Like I'll honestly say that. Like they have little like 8-year-old girls that could outwork anyone.
Right.
It's insane. It's their entire life. They stop going to school and they full time like live there. Actually, when I was in Japan, I lived with Sarai, the girl that just got signed.
Oh, nice.
She was like 15 years old, and the kid was amazing then. So I'm very interested to see what they're going to do with her now.
Yeah.
I was just talking to her right before I came here. So Jenny Rose went to go see her.
Oh,
nice.
That's
my cousin.
Jenny Rose is your cousin?
Yeah.
So, did she have anything to do with you in the beginning? Because she's got a great blossoming career right now.
Well, I went to work.
Help her out, I guess.
I went to work for Deanna, and Sumi Sakai is the one that got me booked over there. And then she said that they wanted some more American girls, but they wanted ones that they could mold like for their company. So we suggested Jenny, I'm sorry. And they took her over there, and she ran with it, and she did so well. I've never seen anyone take to a style of training the way she did. Like, she did so good.
No, she's one of my favorites.
Yeah, she's
I really
great.
like watching her. I was glad to see Ring of Honor picked her up.
Yeah. She actually originally started training with them, and then went to Japan, trained with the people with Deanna, and then came back. I don't know how long it was before she worked for them again, but then they started really using her, like, in storylines and stuff like that. So I thought that was good.
Your tag team with Roxy Cotton, that was very popular. The Beat Down Betties.
Oh, yeah, Betty's was fun, man.
Yeah, tell me, what was that like? People really loved that team.
We were like the odd couple of women's wrestling, man. Like, it was like night and day. We had Rick Cataldo with us for a while, too. She's a blast, and she's very underrated. Like, she doesn't get enough credit at all. Like, she's been wrestling since, like, forever. Probably knows more about anything than anyone. Like, it's just ridiculous. We had so many ridiculous road trips. Like, there was this one time we went to North Carolina to work for this guy. I forget what the hell the company was called. Like, this, I literally, like, I probably can't remember the last 5 minutes of my life. Like, it's that bad. But
You're doing good.
So we go down to North Carolina, and the dude had, like, it was like a custom company, but like not, but they had live shows too, and it was really weird. But anyway, it was the first time I met Marty Bell. So she went with us on this car trip, and Roxy has, she gets car sick. So we're driving, and we had, at one point, she was like, dude, I want to, and she's like lurching a little bit, and we're like, what's going on? So like, she just voms all over the front of her shirt, right? So then we pull over. It's like dark, creepy dirt road. She gets changed behind the car, like takes the bomb shirt off, throws on this random Coca-Cola shirt, throws a blanket around herself. Marty starts driving. So we pull into a Denny's. She's like, dude, I need to eat right now. She has this blanket. It looked like the blanket from the Roseanne couch almost. It was crocheted on. So she's sitting in there, like laying on the bench in the Denny's with like a blanket wrapped around her. I don't know. I just specifically remember that one. Then we drove through a flood one time. Like the whole bottom of her car got flooded because we drove through this giant puddle. I think we were doing a triple shot that day. But I used to go everywhere with her, man.
Wow. 3 matches you did in one day, huh?
Yeah, it was.
How tough is that?
It sucked, man. I think I slept for like 2 days straight. We went, I think it was WSU, and then we went to Jersey All Pro Women's, and then we went up to Ace, and we actually had a 3-way match with AJ Lee. Yeah.
Yeah, so, oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, okay, that's another thing. Yeah, you wrestled Shimmer. So, I've said this before on some of our other podcasts, like, Shimmer is probably the most underrated independent wrestling organization. It'll go down in history as that, because look at how many incredible wrestlers that have gone on now from that organization. You know, Becky Lynch was there, Paige was there, etc. I mean, we could go on and on. So when you wrestled there and you wrestled AJ Lee, I think you worked a lot with Ruby Riott early in her career. Did you see anything in any of these girls?
I mean, I knew Ruby was going to be awesome as soon as I met her. Like, she's just awesome. Like, she's a good person, and she just I don't know, man. She knew a lot for being so new. It was just, she kind of just had, I don't even know how to put it, man. She had something, and you could tell right away. I'm trying to think of who else was like that. Mia Yim. She was another one like that.
Yeah, she's starting to get her due.
Yeah. It's about time, man. And Mercedes, too.
Yeah.
She's beyond deserved it. Like, I always thought she was the best one, like, ever.
Wow. So, and then being in the Shimmer locker room, did the wrestlers feel that, like, wow, this is something, there's something here. Like, you know, like, it gave the ladies an opportunity to shine, have matches that would be as long as you needed them to be. You could do storylines, you know, let them develop, blah, blah, blah. And I think it really showed. And, like, look, you know, a lot of that talent has now headlined matches for the WWE, headlined WrestleManias for the WWE. Could you sense that going on at Shimmer?
I mean, I had a different experience than most at Shimmer, and I don't really want to, like, bury it or say too much, but, like, they kind of, like, I didn't have a pleasant experience at all.
Yeah,
like,
I guess
I worked there, like, twice.
Yeah.
I was approached in a way, like, oh, well, I feel like we got to book you, but I don't want to let you wrestle, so we're just going to have you manage. Like, it was the rudest email I ever got in my life. And I'm not trying to shit on Prazak, but you know what? Fuck it. I'll just shit on Prazak. He came at me sideways, was very rude. I almost did not take the booking, and I took it anyway because I felt like I needed to because it was so early in my career. And then I was on maybe like one or two more shows, and then they just out of the blue stopped using me. So that was my experience with Shimmer.
Their loss.
Mean, other people probably had a better experience than I did. So.
Yeah. So, what were some of your favorite matches that you have ever wrestled?
I would say probably when I worked Serena Deeb at WSU, because she's amazing. Any single time I worked anyone in Japan, because they're all amazing. I'm trying to think of who else. Because I don't know, man.
When you're working a show, is there anybody that you want to watch their matches? Like, you'll leave the locker room to go watch what they're doing.
I would say anytime Mia Yim, Allison Kay, well, when she was Heidi Lovelace, Ruby Riott, Kimberly.
Right.
Roxy Cotton. She was always fun to watch.
That's the real badge of honor for a worker when you see the other workers come out of the locker room to watch their matches. That's always very high compliment.
Are you talking just girls or like anyone?
Anybody.
I mean, Trent Acid, obviously.
Right.
Trying to think of who else. Devin Moore. And, well, Danny Havoc.
Right.
He's one of my boys, too.
We were just talking about Danny. Dan's last match before the pandemic was the G-Raver benefit show, and his tag team partner was Danny Havoc.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It was an honor to be in that match for a number of reasons, but yeah, I miss that dude.
G-Raver's doing pretty good. That's good to hear.
Yeah, he's I don't know if he's fully recovered in terms of, you know, the healing process from his injury, but he's killing it.
You worked with Amber O'Neil?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty awesome. Bullet
Amber's
Club.
fun.
You know, one of the only women in the Bullet Club, as we all know from listening to this podcast. I'm a big fan of the Bullet Club.
Yeah, Am's a good person. She, I love her accent. She has my favorite accent. aside from Lish, I forget what the hell is she working as now in TNA? Oh my god.
And then there's some of the girls and the newer girls like Shayna Baszler. You worked with her too once. What was
my
it?
God.
She's a real tough girl.
Yo, first of all, I've never been hit so hard in my life.
Wow.
I'm just gonna put that out there.
I'm a big fan of her.
You don't know from getting hit in your face till you get hit by a chick that was in UFC. That's wild. But she got really good. Like
She's awesome.
She's great.
I was one of her first couple like pro wrestling matches.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, you were with Ruby Riott, like right in her beginning of her career. You were in the ring with Jordynne Grace.
Yeah, Jordan's awesome too.
Yeah, she's about to probably go to one of the bigger federations. I think her contract's due.
She should. She
Yeah,
definitely should.
and I couldn't imagine AEW or WWE not wanting to work with her. Well, one of our favorites on the show, Maria Manic. You've been in the ring with her.
Yeah.
Another super tough girl, huh?
Yeah, she is, man. So strong, like ridiculous.
You've also been in the ring with some men too. Larry Winters, rest in peace. What's it like wrestling the men and a guy like Larry?
I mean, it depends. It depends on the man, I guess. I feel like it's safer because they tend to be a little bit more strong, like and kind of support you and not break you in half, and drop you and stuff. But I mean, I'm not like trying to say. I'm not trying to be like a chick misogynist or whatever and like shit on women's wrestling.
That makes
but yeah,
sense. What were some of the guys that you've wrestled? You remember the matches, good matches?
Detox. I wrestled him at PW. He stopped working years ago, but that was one of my favorites. I'm trying to think of who else. What other dudes I had matches with?
Kobe Carino. You ever in the ring with him?
No.
Chris Dickinson?
No.
No.
Where are you getting these facts from?
These are all from Rocco.
Yeah, I didn't wrestle Dickinson. No, it was Kim. Kim wrestled Dickinson, and that was nuts. That was like all over World Star Hip Hop for like 2 months, and I wanted to kill her after that. Oh my god!
That was the match with the chair?
No.
When she went flying into the corner and almost cracked her head on the ring bell.
Well, okay. So speaking of World Star Hip Hop, you have a couple matches that have millions and millions of hits on YouTube.
Huh?
You have one match that has 57 million hits on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah. Am I breaking news to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. One of your matches versus.
I told Jason you're the most famous wrestler that I've ever heard of.
Yeah. No. So for real, like, there's a match of yours versus. I guess it's Alicia Edwards before she's Alicia Edwards. It's like Little Nahavia or something.
Alexxis Nevaeh?
Alexxis, okay.
Yeah.
And, I was like, clicking on some of your stuff when Jay, was proposing all these different guests. And I was like, oh my God. I mean, that's like, you would be in the top 20 in the WWE YouTube with those type of numbers.
Interesting.
This is just breaking news to you?
Yeah, I don't.
You should. You don't do social media or anything. You should.
I mean, I do, but I don't.
Toxic and garbage.
Yeah, I went off like Facebook and all that for like 2 months because I got tired of hearing everybody talking about politics and bullshit.
We don't talk politics on this show. Rocco's very into politics.
Yeah, I don't know.
We make him keep it to himself.
Can you look to see who put that YouTube video up?
It's High Spots, so they probably owned it from the whatever promotion it was they bought it from.
She's my other favorite accent. That's who I was trying to think of.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Well,
She got that thick Boston accent. It's awesome.
So, do you ever go watch any of your matches? Or not really.
No, because when I do, I just like criticize them too hard. I'm like, well, that sucked. I didn't like that. I should have done that better. That was terrible. Like,
we on our last episode, Dan was saying the same thing. I mean, but I think as a musician or a wrestler or any kind of artist, you're never going to be happy with your craft, even when you're on top of your game.
Yeah.
And so this is the Rock and Wrestling podcast. We do like to talk a little bit about music. What kind of music did you like listen to when you were growing up and stuff?
A little bit of everything. I mean, probably because like I had 3 brothers and a sister, and they all like different stuff. So
where did you fit in age-wise?
Well, the youngest one above me is 13 years older than me. It's my sister. So I'm the baby.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you were getting lots and lots of
all different
music
stuff, man. I like everything from like doo-wop, Motown, hip-hop, metal, like everything.
And so what kind of concerts did you go see at a younger age?
First concert I ever went to was Ozzy Osbourne with Danzig and Sepultura.
Well, wow. It doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
You should have quit concerts after that.
Right?
I was going to say, Dan's shutting up now.
Dan went to see the Gin Blossoms.
Gin Blossoms are good. I like them.
What, do you get to choose your own entrance music? Is that a big deal?
Yeah.
What do you like to use when you come to the ring?
Bad Luck 13, of course.
Yeah, right.
Plug.
Yeah.
Did you know that already, Rocco?
You'll never know. That's how good of a podcaster I am.
I didn't say anything.
Or
Doing
did
his
you?
homework.
COVID.
Any wrestlers, any musicians, like, ever come to the wrestling shows, like, that you knew of or anything like that? Or when you were ever, like, on the road, did you ever go, like, you're wrestling maybe in North Carolina and go see a concert or stuff like that? Anything that ever happened there?
No, I heard Corgan used to go to shows.
Yeah, well...
Nothing that I was on, though.
No. He might have been sitting in the corner all
Yeah, who
creepy.
knows? I don't know.
Got his trench coat on and his
He
baseball
was
cap.
super weird at that Cage of Death he was at. Yeah.
He came to Cage of Death?
There was that one Cage of Death where the NWA had a match that everybody hated.
I do remember that.
You remember who it was? It was Tim Storm.
Tim Storm was the champion at the time.
What was it? Magnus versus Magnus.
Yeah, Mickey James's husband.
Yeah.
Did you ever been in the ring with Mickey James?
No, but I worked on shows with her.
Yeah,
she's always very nice.
Yeah, she seems like a
Yeah,
good
she's a
person.
cool chick.
So
Was that Cage of Death at the?
That was at that gymnastics
Yeah, it was-
venue. Yeah, Billy Corgan was there. He was. Yeah, he just no sold everybody backstage and just fucking
great.
weird. And I was like,
Superstar.
he paid my cable bill once, and we could segue because you and I used to work at the Electric Factory together. So he was playing the Electric Factory one night with his band Zwan, if you guys remember.
I might have worked that show.
We'll talk about some of your favorite shows and what have you. So I forget what boxing match was on.
Does
that
this
night.
end up with you showing him your feet or something? And
No,
then pays for
that
cable
was
bill?
Mel
Okay.
Phillips.
Okay.
So he needed the boxing pay-per-view for his to watch on the bus on the way home, and the promoter of the show knew that I was probably ordering it. So he's like, "Yo, will you tape this and we'll give you, we'll pay your cable bill or whatever." Blah, blah, blah. I was like, "Oh, great! I was already ordering it to begin with, So I went home from the show, grabbed the tape, came back, gave it to him, blah blah blah. So you worked at the Electric Factory. What's it like working at a concert venue, seeing a plethora of music?
I love it, but what sucks is the bar gets so busy, like you just tune shit out.
Yeah.
Like you can't even really like enjoy anything, other than maybe Clutch, because everybody just kind of shuts up and watches them and stops like coming to get drinks. But they're
Jay
probably
doesn't
the
stop
best.
at the Clutch show. He'll continue to
Drink more.
They were my favorite though. Them and Mastodon.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
In Cage, which CZW? It was the early tournament of death where they had the Queen of the Death match.
It was
Was it
that was
two?
IWA Mid-South.
Three?
IWA Mid-South, the Queen of the Death.
Was that what it
Yeah,
was?
because I was on one of them in
Yeah.
like 08. Yeah. Yeah, that was weird. I was one and done. I was on death matches are not for me, man.
One and done, see?
Not for me.
That's perfectly admirable. It's a very good way to do it. I like that.
Not Dan. Dan only wants to wrestle death matches. He got into
I mean,
it
I get it,
watching
though.
Sabu and barbed wire, and he's like, "That's what I want to do."
Dude, they get paid way more money to do death matches. Everybody wants to shit on death match wrestlers. They're the smartest dudes in the business.
yeah.
That's debatable.
Well, that's debatable.
What?
That is debatable.
One of my best friends is a death match guy.
Who's your best friend?
Devin Moore. He's probably one of my best friends in the
Okay.
business.
I love Dev.
Yeah,
He's
Love
awesome.
Dev.
we got to get some of these guys on the show. Now that we got Dan part of the show, help out, get some new guests in here, some new blood.
Now I'm thinking about how much more money I should have asked for.
I should have brought that up, Dan. I apologize.
I remember when that last tournament of death, DJ's like, "How much do you want?" And I told him, and he was like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Ah, no problem."
That's a bad sign.
When they say
That's a bad
yes too
sign.
quick.
When they happily say yes, that's a bad sign.
That's why you wrestled 3 matches.
Yes. You want?
Yeah, I was like, well,
It's my
listen,
fourth match. Do you want to wrestle Masada? Yes, sir. Yes, I'll wrestle
Do
Masada.
you have any other matches I could be in?
He's like, I think we got Masada and Shrek in a double for you tonight. No problem, sir.
Yeah.
So yeah, you didn't like the death matches.
I mean, it wasn't that bad, but I mean, I didn't want to do it all the time because, like, I forgot I had tacks in my pants and I sat on one of them and I tacked right up my ass. Like, it was, and then I tried to gig and I fucked it up and I didn't even get any color. I had like this nick right in the top of my forehead. So, like, it sucked.
That's what's good
I'm
about
good.
being bald is like if you fuck up the gig, you can just be like, just hit me with tubes because
I didn't get shit, man. That was awful. All holes in my hands. Stigmata. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, cool.
Have you thought about wrestling again?
Nah, man, I messed my back up pretty bad. And plus, I just like, I can't say what I want anymore. So I'm just going to go ahead and cancel myself.
It's definitely a lot different, the
Yeah.
wrestling world than it was years ago, for better or for worse. Who are like some, like, I know you say you don't like watching wrestling, but you still keep in contact with a lot of the girls you wrestled with. Like, who do you still talk to?
I did Sassy Steph's podcast last week. I was talking to her, Marty, Amy. We got to talk to Sean DeMick. I haven't talked to him in years. But I mean, on the regular, I still talk to Kimberly, obviously Jenny Rose. Who else? Once in a while, Mia Yim and Heidi or Ruby.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we definitely appreciate you coming down here today. You guys have anything else you'd like to talk about? Jay? All right.
Well, I would like. No.
Is there anything you want to promote? You doing anything? Anybody doing more podcasts? Doing anything?
Nah, man, I don't do nothing. I just
Just
work my
laid
regular
back?
job and go home now. I'm so boring. Like, it's not even funny.
Nothing
You
wrong
want
with
to see
that.
boring? Come to my place on
I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
I can out bore anyone.
I believe you.
I'm just wondering if you realize how many people are watching your stuff.
On
Oh,
YouTube.
no.
It's absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, I got Atomic dropped on a dildo and it got 90,000 views. And now I was like, fuck yeah.
If I got 90,000 views, I don't know if you heard, but I'm become a TikTok
He's
superstar
kind of a TikTok legend.
as of late.
He's blowing up,
no
like the
big
kids
deal.
say.
I don't even have TikTok.
Not too many people.
I don't even know.
Not too many
I don't
people over the
I don't
age of
take
17
Rutalk.
do.
Only on TikTok, yeah.
That's come on, you're asking too much right now.
Rock and Wrestling Podcast on TikTok.
Something like that. But I get a few hundred hits.
Nice.
I'm not trying to brag. But I was blown away seeing these incredible numbers. The people that love watching your wrestling.
If it's the match that I think it got 90 billion whatevers because she grabbed the crap out of my boobs in the corner of the ring, and I literally thought she was going to pop them. And then I think she threw me by them. And that's probably why I got so many hits. It had nothing to do with wrestling. It was more about titty grab.
Is there multiple matches with hits? Yeah.
I think it's the one particular match. Yes, you're speaking of. That's the big one. But no, a lot of your matches have lots of. They're very popular matches on
It
YouTube.
has nothing to do with the wrestling.
Come out of retirement.
Yeah, you got to make money out of this somehow. This is money on the table.
It's not the wrestling, man. I just got really good at so like the secret is carpet tape. That's how you keep your top on.
Okay.
And they're only watching so a boob falls out. Because I'm like mediocre at best. I'm really not that good of a wrestler. It's not the wrestling, I'm telling you. It's the boobs. It's always been the boobs.
Without naming names, are there people who would get over by having their boobs fall out, purposefully lacking
Yeah, of course.
carpet tape?
I tried that, but it never worked.
I'm sure.
Hogan's
It's
not a
the-
good
it's all the
wrestler
hair,
either.
that's
So
the hair.
don't slight yourself. That guy main evented everywhere.
He had a lot of charisma, though.
Well, Jay, another great episode.
It was great. Thanks for going by.
Yeah, thanks
We
for having
appreciate
me.
it. That was
really
good.
do.
Sorry, I'm really bad at remembering stuff.
No, dude, this is
Another
absolutely
Philly
terrific.
legend right here.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Incredible how many girls from Philly have, wrestled all over the world,
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
Yeah, a nice little bunch of you
She's
girls,
the real deal right there.
It's unbelievable. God bless, and we wish you the best, and you should definitely come back one time. We could just, we'll do this again. It'll be great.
Right on. I have to see if I can remember more stuff.
Thank you.
Jay, we're on some social medias.
All right, let's hear it, brother.
The Rock and Wrestling Connection is on Instagram. It's Rock and Wrestling Connection on Instagram.
It's very informative. You have many people's birthdays on there.
It's all about birthdays on there.
A lot of celebrity shout outs.
I mean, think of all the entertainment these guys have given me throughout all these years. The least
right.
I can do is wish them a happy birthday.
How about Twitter? Are we on Twitter?
We are on Twitter now. It's a little bit more confusing on Twitter. On Twitter, we are Rock ND Wrestling. So Rock ND Wrestling. But the great commentator Kevin Gill from GCW, he found us on Twitter. So hope he's following us now.
Okay.
You people can find us too.
We're going to get him in the studio?
We're going to work on getting him on the show. I'm
good.
working on that. Once I see someone on Twitter, I bug them right away.
Now, I know we're not on Facebook because it's for a bunch of complainers, but are we on Facebook?
We are on Facebook.
We're on Facebook.
Yeah.
Are we complaining on there?
No, we have a very positive Facebook page. It's probably super rare for Facebook. It's at Rock and Wrestling Connection on Facebook.
Rock and Wrestling Connection.
And we're here in the Creep Studios. These guys are on social media. What's going on there?
The Creep Recording Studio.
You can find it.
Yeah. Creep Recording Studio on Instagram or Facebook.
For all your recording needs.
What about any stock tips? Do you have any more stock tips for us?
Hot tips, sell Tesla.
Yeah, sell Tesla.
Sell Tesla.
I think so.
Buy Apple. Jay says buy Apple.
I would say buy a lot of stocks. It's what, you know what? Do whatever the rich
It's all
people
about
are
the
doing.
digital currency now. We're going.
Find someone who's rich
Yeah.
and buy whatever they're buying.
It's true. It's true.
That's my advice.
That's good.